Lately, several people have been asking me for some Bloons TD4 content, so here we are on the Ninja Kiwi archive. I'm really curious to see just how well this game holds up today, because I certainly have fond memories of it, but this game is about to celebrate its 15th anniversary now. And I have to say, the intro definitely feels a little bit dated when you compare it to what BTD4 offered just 2 years later. And I like how one of the first things I see is literally telling me to go play BTD4. It's like even Ninja Kiwi knew how big the improvement was. But the thing I'm really concerned about is the gameplay, of course. And so far, I've only earned a couple medals from when I played a few months ago, so I'm just gonna start off simple and try out an intermediate map on medium difficulty. I feel like no matter what BTD game you're playing, starting off with the Dart Monkey just always works. Unfortunately though, the triple dart upgrade does not exist yet, and for some reason in this game, all of your upgrades are on a single path as well. BTD4 is the only game that did this, and I'd say that's for the best because it's definitely a little bit frustrating when you can't get a certain upgrade before another one. I'm also really sorry that the bottom of the screen is cut off like this. I have my OBS display capture set up to crop out my taskbar, but everything in the Ninja Kiwi archive is a full screen game, and I wasn't thinking about it when I recorded this, so this is the result, and it should only be like this for the first game, but I really hope it's not too bad. And one thing I am happy to see is that we do have access to the Dartling Gunner, and I'm really hoping it's going to be just as OP as the BTD4 version. But first, I've been saving up for a farm, and they don't actually produce bananas in this game. Instead, they just give you money at the end of the round, which I honestly prefer if I'm being completely real, but maybe that's because I'm lazy. After several more rounds, I can afford the tier 2, and I'm gonna make the risky play of getting it, which I say is risky because I've already lost 20 lives, and on round 15, that number increased to 47. Round 16 cost me another 48 lives, meaning I only have 55 total left to work with now, and I'm supposed to be defeating 60 rounds here, not 16. So I'm going to try getting a spike factory and see what that does for me, but apparently it wants to throw spikes lower than what I can actually see, which means I won't have any idea if it's providing enough defense or not. Nice. Well, I can't lie though, it's really been clutching up for me here so far, as I've only lost 3 more lives in the last 2 rounds. And now I can afford to get the Dartling Gunner as well. But unfortunately in this game, you can't press space to start the next round, and auto start doesn't exist yet, so I do have to manually click on the start round button every time, which means I also gotta keep readjusting the Dartling Gunner's placement. However, it does seem to be quite effective in the early game at least, as I haven't had to worry about losing any lives for several rounds now, so I'm going to invest in a second farm. I like how you can sort of stack towers on top of each other in this game as well, and I wonder if that's caused by a limitation with the flash code that it was built on. Round 24 introduces the first camo balloon, just like in BTD4, but in this game, a camo is actually its own type of balloon, just like a red or yellow, so when you pop one, it actually releases 2 non-camo pink balloons. Another round that's very similar is 28, as it introduces the first lead balloons in this game, but this version also comes with a few zebra balloons as well. I'm going to try out a glue gunner in this spot right here because it looks like it could hit a ton of the track, and I'm really curious about its upgrades as well. Everything looks pretty standard so far. You got sticky glue, glue soak, corrosive glue, but wait, glue splatter can hit up to 20 balloons in this game? That sounds kind of broken, and I love it. I guess ceramics were supposed to be extra powerful in BTD4 though, because glue gunners can't actually slow them down. But they can still stick to ceramics though, so with glue soak, at least you can slow down everything inside of them once it gets popped down into rainbows. But dang, I'm about to lose before I even get to face any cerams. Oh wait, I guess I'm going to survive with 15 lives to my name. Can't imagine what I'd do without my spike factory right now. Well, I can imagine actually. I would lose. It looks like we're going to have another close call in the very next round, but at least we're still alive so far. But now I can also afford the glue splatter upgrade, so let's see what that can do with 20 Pierce in this game. Well, I don't like how some balloons are still making it by, but this is definitely going a lot better than before at least. I'm also going to get a second spike factory in a spot where I can actually see the spikes that it's putting on the track, so that way when I'm about to lose, I at least get a better idea of how much defense I have left. Please don't freeze now game, things were just starting to actually look decent for me. Okay, there we go. It's actually started up again. I was really worried there for a second. Oh wait, I should have definitely had the glue gunner targeted the strong as well. Otherwise, I'm going to be wasting a lot of its potential. But I gotta say, compared to my humble beginnings of nearly losing before round 20, things are actually starting to look up now. Now that I have a decent amount of farms, I've been able to get a second Dartling Gunner and Glue Gunner, and a fully upgraded Monkey Buccaneer as well. Well crap, I guess I forgot about the Moab, didn't I? Let me just upgrade this bomb tower into a Moab Mauler real quick. But yeah, I don't like how far that Moab got, so I'm definitely getting a second Mauler as well. I'm also going to try getting a Ring of Fire tack shooter, because I'm pretty sure they're actually super powerful in this game. Would you look at that? I just officially unlocked sandbox mode. I don't know why the game says I'm ranked 99 though, because really I'm only ranked 26, which means I haven't even unlocked all of the 4th tier towers yet. That's why all my farms are tier 3 still. But in any case, my current level of defense definitely seems to be performing really well now, as none of the balloons are even making it close to the spike factories anymore. Not even the Moabs can put up much of a fight against my 4 Maulers. I have some extra money now, so I'm going to try out the Mortar Monkey just to see how it is in this game. But alright, I can't lie, those explosions on the track are really annoying, which probably isn't a good reason to sell it immediately, but it's my reason. Now let me prepare some more defense here. I definitely want to get some more Maulers and also a Monkey Beacon, which of course became the Monkey Village in BTD4 onwards, but in this game, you can actually buy the Super Monkey Storm ability, and I didn't realize that once you spend 5k to unlock it, you also have to spend another 1k every time you want to use it. And again, I'm really sorry that got cropped out for you guys. But at least I have that Super Monkey Storm ability now, just in case things get crazy. But I'm not really worried about that happening, because at this point, my defense is tearing through everything. Here we are on round 60, which means I have to face a BFB in order to beat medium mode. I probably should have bought more defense, but I have my Super Monkey Storm ability ready to use just in case I need it, and it looks like I won't be, because the BFB got popped relatively early and all these Moabs are within range of the Maulers, and yeah, that's it for medium difficulty. But I have to say, that was definitely a bit tougher than I expected. Like, I nearly lost a few times early on there, and this wasn't supposed to be super difficult. And if you've been enjoying the video so far, liking and subscribing really does help it reach more people. But now I think it's time I finally try out hard mode, and I'm going to play on the same map for now as well. I really love looking at the way things were described in these older BTD games. Like, the official description of hard mode says, stuff is expensive and you only have 100 lives, and you have to pass 75 grueling rounds. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but like, you would never see a description like that in BTD6. I'm going to start with the Dart Monkey again, but I'm also going to try getting it in a better spot than I did last time, so that I can cover more of the track, which is going to be pretty important because unlike on medium mode, I actually can't afford to start with 2 Dart Monkeys anymore. But after a few rounds I can afford to get a second one, and I'm going to put it right here, because I'm planning to upgrade this Dart Monkey into a Spike-a-Pult since it's a really cheap upgrade, and it should be really powerful when it gets to fire down a straight path. Ideally, this will be a much better start than I had last time. Alright, now that I can afford the upgrade, let's see how it actually performs. Okay, getting this was definitely the right call. The difference it's making to my early defense is astounding. Even though I am playing on hard mode now, I managed to get my first farm this time without leaking any lives, although to be fair, that definitely was short-lived. So I'm gonna get a second Spike-a-Pult right below the first one, and I'll have this one target the first balloons on the track, while the other remains on last. This ended up being a pretty effective defense for the early game, but I am slowly bleeding a couple lives every round, so let me get a Spike Factory to keep that trend from continuing. Yeah, and it's a good thing I did, because the next round had black balloons, and the Spike-a-Pult's biggest weakness is that they fire slowly and have a slow projectile, so when they hit those balloons, a bunch of pinks came out, which quickly rushed by, and the Spike Factory had to clean up most of the leaks. Let me also get the Buccaneer again, because that really seemed to be doing a ton of work last time. It's so weird to watch a camo balloon just evade all my Dart Monkeys since I'm used to BTD5, but at least the Buccaneer gets camo detection in this game. The next thing I'm going to get is the Glue Gunner, because I really think it might be an S tier tower in this game once you get the Glue Splatter upgrade. I'll admit, this tower is a little lackluster when you can't afford to get the upgrade yet, but I almost have enough money for it now. Oh wait, I forgot that round 33 has a million camo balloons, so let me upgrade my Buccaneer into a battleship to deal with those first. Alright, now I can get the Glue Splatter, which makes me feel pretty confident in this run already. A big thing to consider is that BTD4 doesn't have ZOMGs, so I'm not really sure how much harder it can get once you have defeated the first BFB on round 60. Oh nice, I just unlocked the 4th tier for the Monkey Ace. I guess I'll have to test that out during this run. If you couldn't tell, this run is going substantially better than the last one. I guess I was able to learn from some of my mistakes on medium mode, and I have to say something that I really never wanted to, but the Dartling Gunner might not actually be that great in this game because I feel like I'm doing a lot better without it. But since I have some extra money to play with, I'm gonna get the Monkey Ace now, but it's kind of weird in this game because there's no landing pad for the tower, so technically it doesn't take up any permanent spots on the map, but in exchange for that, you actually have to click on the airplane itself in order to upgrade the tower, which means it could potentially get in your way if you were trying to place something else down. But with all that being said, I got too distracted thinking about the ace while I was playing and managed to forget about the Moab for a second time. Although thankfully, it actually went down pretty well without me even getting a Mauler this time. But for some reason, the Moabs on round 50 seemed to be way tougher, and they ended up making it a lot further than I would like, so I did have to buy a couple Moab Maulers during this round. And it looks like I'm about to lose, so I'm just going to spam down some road spikes now, and holy mother of clutch, I can't believe I'm still in the game. Well, it's time for some more defense, and I really love how tiny the Spike Factory's hitbox must be, because you can overlap these towers by an insane amount. Again, on round 52, the Moabs just seem to be way stronger than it was on round 46, and I want to test out the Wizard now, just to see how it is in this game. Of course I still don't have the 4th tier upgrade unlocked yet, and if I'm being honest, the Wizard's kinda useless up here anyways, but maybe at the end of the track it could be better, because the Tornado could be a good last line of defense to send the balloons backwards. Even though it does remove the glue from balloons, ideally they'll end up getting glued a second time once they actually do get sent back. It's definitely time to get some more Moab Maulers as well, especially with the round 60 BFB quickly approaching. Oh, this is pretty huge. I just unlocked the Banana Research Facility. The reason that this is so awesome is because they generate 4 times as much money as the Republic at 2,000 per round instead of 500, but they only cost around 3 times as much as it, which means that they're way more efficient at generating income. So now I'm going to convert my 5 Republics into 2 factories, which will give me an extra 1,500 per round. Okay, this is kinda crazy. The Monkey Ace has already popped 10,000 balloons. I did not realize how powerful it is in this game. That's more than any of my other towers. I think my Buccaneer is the closest at around 7,600. Oh no, I was wrong. The triple shot Spike-a-Pult actually is 8,300. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Glue Gunner is sitting at 4,600 pops. That's actually kind of insane, considering its primary function is slowing down the balloons. The Wizard ain't looking so hot at 67, and all the Spike Factories are low as well, but I guess that's actually a good thing, considering these towers are my last line of defense. Alright, let's make sure we're ready for that BFB now, and here it comes, tanking all sorts of damage so far. I really hope it's not going to make it too far down the track to pop, but there it goes. Alright, so now we just have the Moabs to deal with. They've been historically stronger than I was used to, but they're down now as well, and it looks like we're going to be alright. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. But unlike the last run, I've still got another 15 rounds to deal with now, so I can't get too comfortable yet. Thankfully though, round 63 is a lot easier in this game than it is in BTD5 and 6. It does have some ceramics towards the end, but they're very spaced out, and you don't have to face all that many of them either. Round 65 is also a lot easier, with there only being 2 Moabs and no BFBs to worry about. My Monkey Ace has gotten past 14,000 pops now, which is nearly double my next closest towers, so I might as well get a second one for the end game. Oh, I finally just unlocked the 4th tier upgrade for the Wizard as well. And apparently it can blow back over 100 balloons, which certainly sounds pretty good, and it had better be, considering this upgrade costs over $8,000, which is extremely expensive for this game. Well, I'm not sure if it's worth the price, but that Tornado is definitely quite powerful at the very least. I don't want to fail right at the end, so let me invest in a bunch more defense, and it looks like this is definitely going to be enough to win. Whoa, I wasn't expecting to unlock the Sun God already, and look at that, the game actually displayed my correct rank this time. But now I definitely gotta try the Sun God for at least one round, so let me sell a farm so that I can afford it on round 75, and holy crap, look at how fast this tower is racking up damage right now. I can't lie though, without 0 MGs, round 75 feels kinda underwhelming as the completion of hard mode. So let me try out one of these advanced maps and see how I fare with that. Well, I'm already struggling just to find a decent spot for my first Dart Monkey, so maybe I underestimated this game a little too quickly. I guess I'll put it right here and just hope for the best. Oh man, the balloons even split into 2 different paths. I thought it was just going to be one for some reason, so I know that's going to make things a lot more challenging as well. Yeah, my Dart Monkey is already chasing the balloons on round 2. While I'm still going to try finding a decent spot for a Spike-a-Pult, I guess right here would be best since it can fire down 2 different paths. Alright, now that I can actually afford the upgrade, let's see if it can be decently effective on this map still. The only reason I have it set to target first is so that it can catch some balloons before they escape, but I do know that it's making it less effective as there's a lot of shots where it's missing. It's only round 8 and I've already leaked a life, so I'm definitely not so confident in this run. Getting a farm is also going to be really difficult because I'm going to have to keep on defending. I know this is really dumb of me, but I'm going to get a second Spike-a-Pult near the first one because I'm hoping that 2 of them will be able to cover the split paths better. Well, I think that's actually doing something for my defense at least, but this still clearly isn't enough, so let me get a Spike Factory as well. Oh, and this one actually can throw spikes to multiple different spots. I guess each map only has certain pinpoints that the Spike Factory is able to target or something. I'm not really sure, but let me know in the comments if you understand how it works. With this defense, I've actually managed to go a couple of rounds without leaking any more lives, but I'm still going to get a second Spike Factory, so that way I can really feel more confident in my defense before I actually start farming. Alright, it looks like the first black balloons on round 20 are going to cost me 4 lives, but honestly that's not too bad all things considered. So I'm finally going to get my first farm down now, and look at that, I just barely placed it in time to actually collect money from it at the end of round 22. Oh, and it looks like now that I got the farm, my defense is going to start struggling again. Great. At least the camo won't be an issue for the Spike Factories though, but round 25 is going to take another 30 lives from me, leaving me with just 35 remaining. After another round, I'm down to just 22 lives, so I'd really better get some more defense at this point, although I'm not sure this run can actually be salvaged. Okay, I actually just went a whole round without losing any more lives, but now I've got to sell a dart monkey just to afford a bomb tower for the first lead balloons, and unsurprisingly, this round is also going to be my demise. So I've got some real thinking to do now. There are only a few towers that you can actually afford to start with on hard mode, so I'm going to try out the wizard and see if it's somehow better than a dart monkey. No, that's actually a much worse start. So what about the boomerang then? I haven't even tried that tower yet, period, in this video. Wow, this is actually the worst one by far. I already know attack shooter and glue gunner would be really terrible, so I guess I'm going back to starting with the dart monkey then. I'm gonna try putting it right here, where it can catch balloons that are about to escape, and hopefully that'll be better. Or maybe it'll just be worse, because I'm already losing a life on round 2. Well, this time I'm not gonna bother getting any Spike-a-Pults, because I think the tier 2 dart monkey is gonna end up being better on this map. Although, what do I know, because on round 8, I'm gonna end up losing a single life to the green balloons, which is exactly what happened last time. Well, if I'm on the same pace as my last run, then that means I'm on track to lose horribly, so I guess I've got to do something else differently besides spamming down tier 2 dart monkeys. Maybe I'll try getting a farm earlier this time, and I can afford it on round 11. Even if my defense is a bit weak, I'd rather be underpowered now when the balloons are still relatively easy to deal with, because the chance of me losing 97 lives is a lot lower than it will be in another 15 rounds. I'm also wondering if I was too quick to dismiss the Dartling Gunner earlier, so I'm gonna sell a couple dart monkeys to get one now. This means I have to play without fast forward mode on so that it can be more accurate, but I do have to say, I think this tower is a lot more effective here, where most other towers struggle because of the layout of this map. After a bit, I was able to actually upgrade my farm to a tier 2, although I have lost quite a few lives in the process. Still though, the Dartling Gunner is holding up pretty well, and I'm gonna get a Spike Factory to help clean up the leaks. This seemed to be a pretty decent combination for all of like 3 or 4 rounds, but I lost a bunch of lives to the zebras on round 25 again, which I know is a bad sign. And I was right to be concerned because I ended up perfectly matching my pace from last run by losing on round 28. But I really want to know what the strategy is for this map now, so I found a tutorial that beats it on hard mode without losing any lives. Shout out to the channel Game Addict. But yeah, apparently you're actually supposed to start with the boomerangs, which I guess seems kind of obvious now because if you place them in the right spots, they can actually follow the arc of the map, and also they're getting a lot of value out of their pierce. And I'm pretty sure they start off with 3 pierce as a 0-0 tower, which is honestly really insane for this game. For example, the Dartling Gunner only starts off with 1 pierce. But yeah, if I'm being honest, I probably wouldn't have figured this out on my own. But I do want to check out the challenges real quick, and you kind of love the plain white text at the bottom that just says more challenges coming soon. The Flash era truly was something special for gaming. You might also notice that one of the challenges is actually the same as Moab Madness in BTD4, although in that game you can just use a couple ground 0 abilities, which of course doesn't exist in BTD4, so let's try and figure out the strategy for this game. My first idea feels way too obvious, but I'm inclined to try putting a Sun God in the middle of the map, and then spend the rest putting Moab Maulers in these circles. Well, here goes nothing, I guess. Alright, so far this is actually going pretty well, but I think the balloons are going to start to become an issue soon, and yeah, they're escaping now, so it looks like that's going to be a loss. I know the ODS Monkey Ace was extremely powerful when I used it earlier, so let me try getting a couple of those, which leaves me with enough money to get 17 molars this time, and I'm really hoping that's going to be enough. It looks like this is actually handling things a little better, and your money quickly racks up when you're popping so many balloons, So let me get a glue gunner now as well, which can hopefully catch these ceramics, and then once they're popped, everything else will be slow enough to get destroyed. I have it targeted to strong, but I think it's actually trying to shoot the Moabs even though it can't affect them, so it's actually barely done anything, and once again I'm going to lose. I haven't even considered using the ice tower yet though, so let me check that one out. Oh nice, it actually has the Arctic Wind in this game. If only ice shards were a thing as well. But still, with that slowing down all the balloons as they pass through the center of the map, maybe the result will end up being better. I'm also going to get a mortar monkey, which apparently I can't target in the very center of the map because I end up clicking on the ice tower instead, so I'll target it here next to that, and then I'll get a second one as the game is going on, which hopefully is going to be enough to take out all these balloons finally. Well, unfortunately, that still didn't work. And I guess I might as well try out the boomerang as well, which I forgot has a lightsaber upgrade in this game. That would never fly today with copyright. But apparently they can pop up to 70 balloons at once, so let's see if this works better with the ice tower. And I'm going to try putting spike factories at the end of each path as well, which, okay, I'll admit, that was really stupid on my part. I should have realized the spikes wouldn't be able to actually build up at the end of the track because they're just getting randomly thrown down, so the spikes are immediately being taken out by the balloons. And yeah, that's another fail. I don't know if this game is actually difficult, or I'm just really terrible at it. But even if I'm not the best, I've had a lot more fun revisiting BTD4 than I expected to, and you can do the same with the Ninja Kiwi archive, which is available for free on Steam and directly on Ninja Kiwi's website. And if you're new to the channel, I promise I'm a lot better at BTD5. You can check out the playlist on screen to see all the challenges I've done in that game.